I just, like, the whole living a nightmare. I can't imagine what it was like for you to get that call from Candace freaking out. What time did that happen? Do
I
you
can't
remember that moment?
remember because what's really weird is when we went to Hawkins County Sheriff's Department, they wanted our phones.
Yeah.
So all three of us handed them our phones, and they erased the memory of our phones from 3:30 on. All three of us.
What?
Yeah, and I don't know why they did that. It's probably for the investigation.
Sure.
So I'm trying to remember, and I can't be for sure if it was like 5:40 or 6:40 or 5:30 or 6:30. I can't.
I think it was
6:40 because our private investigator wanted to know exactly for the timeline. Well, not only that, TBI wanted me to work over the timeline and make sure of every detail.
Right.
Candace was missing some things because she was so upset and she forgot, I've done a load of laundry and then I fixed lunch. She left out just them couple details and it fucked up the timeline.
Oh.
So TBI, Mr. TBI, okay, he said, sit down with your wife and make sure you got every detail because we can't get this right. I'm like, okay. So then we looked in all three of our phones, me, Candace's, and her mother, and all three of our phones were erased from 3:30 on June 15th.
Wow.
So we're not exactly sure of the timeline.
There was actually a text that said, little Macbeth saw a text that freaked him out. It said, "It's done." I never understood that. And did you get that text? Who got that?
I've thought that a few times, but
Yeah.
I don't understand where that come from or what the hell. I really don't. I have no idea. I got to listen to it, and then try to figure it out from there because as of right now, I have no clue.
So what do you think? Don Wells explaining a little bit about the timeline on what happened June 15, 2021, the day Summer Wells was reported missing. Don said that he took three phones to the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office, and the phone data was erased from the phones from 3:30 on. That's what he claims. He claims they did it. The Hawkins County Sheriff or authorities, he claims they erased data from his phone. Also, if you hear him out of his mouth, he said her phone in the course of explaining that. Her three phones. Who is her? Is that Candace's phones, Grandma's phones? Whose phones were they? And then he explains a little bit about, the call on when she called Don. He doesn't really know. He was setting times between 5:30 and 6:30. Interesting. That was a conversation we had. Don Wells actually called us after we went to his job site to ask him questions about what happened this summer. A lot of interesting stuff here. Do you believe that authorities erased his phone data like he claims? Or did he do it himself? Or is he just lying? Let me know what you think. Interesting. I don't know if you guys ever heard this before. I have lots of other conversations with Don Wells that I'm going to be sharing shortly, putting the pieces together, putting the timeline, trying to figure out the exact timeline on that day. We just heard from a YouTuber who claims that Ronnie Lawson wants the YouTube community to know what took Candace so long to call authorities that day. 4 hours. 4 hours. We know that Candace Wells called 911 around 6:30 p.m., June 15, 2021. So if you subtract that 4 hours, it takes you back to 2:30-ish. You just heard Don Wells talking about the phone data being erased at 3:30 on. What's going on here? What's going on here? I do have lots of other tapes. I'm reviewing them. I will chop them down and share them, trying to put this timeline together on what happened on that day. What really happened and what time this all really happened. We know that Candace called 911 6:30. What transpired between that and all the way up to them going to the water hole? The water hole with Hunter that afternoon in Kingsport. What happened? subscribe, share, press the notification button. I'm going to release a lot more tapes very, very soon. Where is Summer Wells? If you have any information about the whereabouts of Summer Wells, contact TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND. That video credit, give that video credit to Bullhorn Betty, who was there when that conversation took place. So everyone stay safe. God bless.